Hello and welcome to the Pretty Good Gaming Daily Triple. That's your no shit gaming news video. 3 news stories in one video with zero faff. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines is known for 2 things at the moment. 1, having the longest bloody name in the entire industry, and 2, being stuck in development hell. The game has now slipped into a deeper and even darker circle of hell, as publisher Paradox Interactive has literally taken the game away. Hardsuit Labs has been working on the game for the past few years, but now the rug has been pulled out from under them. In a post to the game's website, Paradox explained that the game is in development still, but that Hardsuit will not be a part of it. As you have noticed, we've been keeping pretty quiet for a while. With this in mind, the first piece of news we have for you is to confirm that Bloodlines 2 is still in development. Secondly, we have made the hard decision that Hardsuit Labs will no longer be leading development of Bloodlines 2, which also means that we will not be releasing in 2021 as previously planned. Since we cannot at this time communicate a new release date, we have also decided to stop accepting pre-orders for the time being. This game is very important to us and has been an ambitious project from the very start. In order to meet our goals for it, we've come to the conclusion that a change is needed and, as a result, more development time is required. The post then goes on to thank the devs at Hardsuit and the community for supporting the game. This is such sad news for a game that was looking very promising, but unfortunately it's not really a surprise to me. The game has been mired in a lot of controversy over the past 12 months. Sexual assault allegations were made against popular game writer Chris Avallone. After being billed as a 2020 release, the game was delayed last summer to 2021, but clearly that delay has just got a whole lot worse. The game also lost both its lead narrative designer and creative director back in August, shortly after the delay was announced. Now with the game all but cancelled, its future is unclear. It may well return from the dead like a true vampire if Paradox can find a new developer, or this could be the final stake through the heart. Honestly, based on some of the pre-release material, this was one of my most anticipated titles, but as each new problem came around, I got less and less excited. It's a real shame to see it go this way, and there's certainly a lot of behind the scenes stuff going on that we don't know about, but it's horrible to see a game with such potential go to waste. Again, it may well resurface at some point, but that definitely won't be for a while. The obvious candidates to pick up development would be Obsidian, since the original game was developed by Troika Games, and many of the key devs went on to work at Obsidian. Unfortunately, now that Microsoft owns that studio, that seems pretty unlikely. Things must be going really bad over there, because just as I was finishing this up, I saw this story about how Paradox reported its best ever year in 2020. It saw a 39% increase in year-on-year revenue, reaching 216 million. The company explains that the influx of new players due to the pandemic was a huge boon for them, but also lamented the production and development issues it caused. Production issues have been felt across the planet in every industry, but completely pulling the game from Hardsuit tells me that something much worse has been going on behind closed doors. And next up, China's influence on gaming is growing exponentially, perhaps more than any of us even quite realize. The latest example of this is being retroactively placed into old games that came out decades ago. Nintendo announced in its Direct last week that Capcom Arcade was coming to the Switch, adding loads of classic Capcom titles to the platform.
That's good news.
One of those is Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, not to be confused with Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2, or Street Fighter 2 Turbo, because they're all independent games. In the game, when you select a character, a little flag pops up telling you where they're from. This game features a character called Fei Long. Fei Long is from Hong Kong. China doesn't like Hong Kong. In fact, it spent years trying to suppress the country and deny its independence. In the new Switch version of Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, god that's a long name, Fei Long is now from China, not Hong Kong. This change will likely go unnoticed by most. I mean, I didn't even see it until I spotted the story on Reddit, and yet it is more evidence of the industry pandering to China's whims. In the beginning, Fei Long's flag was also different, as it was the version connected with the British Empire, which held sovereignty there until 1997. If this new change was made to accommodate the updated geopolitical landscape, I may understand, but Hong Kong is still very much fighting to retain its independence from China. You may remember recent news from 2019 about riots in Hong Kong over a new bill which would extradite criminals to mainland China, in turn increasing China's control over the region. At the time, there was a huge controversy in gaming around Blizzard and a Hearthstone player named Blitzchung. In a post-match interview at a tournament, Blitzchung wore a mask symbolizing the protest and said "Liberate Hong Kong." Blizzard then denied his prize winnings and fired the employees who held the interview, causing a huge stir around free speech, but eventually walked it all back at BlizzCon.
I am sorry, and I accept accountability.
What a load of rubbish.
This definitely won't get anywhere near as much traction as that did, but it's yet another example of a company altering their product in a seemingly minor way to appease China and delegitimize Hong Kong. It may not seem like a big deal, but I'm sure the people who actually live there might disagree with their nation being erased. This version of the game also amended E Honda's stage, which traditionally featured the rising sun flag in the background, a symbol of Imperial Japan. However, the game still features the old Soviet flag for Zangief, despite the USSR collapsing in 1991. It's pretty clear to me that they're only changing Hong Kong because China asked them to, and probably refused to allow the game to be sold there otherwise. None of this is a shock at all, it's barely even news, it's just more evidence of not just gaming's but every industry in the world's weak spine when it comes to totalitarian governments. I have nothing more to say other than I'm just exhausted with this kind of bullshit. And finally, let's wrap up this short daily triple with a quick look at the charts. As usual, this is only in the UK and only physical boxed copies. In a fairly slow week, Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury topped the charts, but most of the other spots were just filled with regulars. FIFA 21, Mario Kart 8, Animal Crossing, Black Ops Cold War, Minecraft, and GTA 5, we've seen them all before and they're pretty much always on there. Ring Fit Adventure and Just Dance 21 continue to surprise me with their enduring popularity, but I think that is helped in no small part by how fat many of us feel as we eat away the boredom. I've been playing The Long Dark recently, and even in that I'm eating everything I can find. Spider-Man Miles Morales continues to be Sony's current flag bearer, but the clear winner, once again, is Nintendo with 4 exclusive titles and 2 more cross-platforms in the charts. And that's it for today. If you like this no shit format, go ahead and give the video a like to give it a boost, hit subscribe and the bell to stay notified about all future installments, toss a coin to your YouTuber over at patreon.com/prettygoodgaming. I've been Henry Cooper, that's all for today, bye for now.